It's exactly 6 after the hour 6 on the Mighty Metro FM. Touchdown back again for a brand new week on Monday with the Replenishment Mondays. You can catch them between 3 and 6 on weekdays here on the Mighty Metro FM. We are preparing now for the weekend. Of course, it does mean that the music starts after this. Naked DJ and Lulu Cafe do join us. And from then on, oh man, it's Party Central all the way till Sunday when we cool you down with the amazing sound of... when you start with Wilson Binkosi, where else can you go? Sundays are locked here on Metro FM. You don't want to be anywhere else. Trust me on that one there. It starts now. We open the weekend. I've got the podcast guys here. It's Podcast Friday! Konza's here, Nadim is here, Mark is here. We're going to get straight into it. There's so much to talk about. But we're going to touch on a team that we haven't touched on yet. For the first time, we're going to speak about Swallows. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about Swallows. But also, we'll speak about Hugo Bruce. I know it's a couple of days back now, but we'll speak about Hugo Bruce and Bafana's performance out in Rwanda and what this group looks like. This week, we also had the opportunity to speak to Ademola Olajire, who represents the Nigerian Football Federation, on what they think of their qualification so far. Omar Katugba was very hard on Nigeria. He was straight up. He says he doesn't think that the coach should still be there. Jose, the coach of Nigeria, should have gone a long time ago. We'll get into that and so much more. It's Podcast Fridays. You may share your opinions and your thoughts on everything that happens on this show from 1845 on 086 0002 WhatsApp on 060 552 7303. It is Podcast Fridays on the Mighty Metro FM. It's Sports Not Amplified with Andile. I am Andile Ncube. 10 after the hour 6. Wherever you are, if you're anywhere near Steve Komphela, please tell him to get next to his radio. He's going to be coming up today. I've got a feeling his name will come up. I'm not alone in the studio, of course, on a Podcast Friday. I'm going to start with seniority here on the far left. He played at a time when the TV was still black and white and we couldn't tell which team was which. Konza's with us.
Sanbonani sibuyile ile Friday lezi mnandi sibuzwa la into emnandi yaphindwa amongeke phambi kwe radio kusho ukuthi hayi no awazi ukuthi wenzani sondela.
Oh, there it is. And of course on my right he still holds the record, but we must measure between Tusopala, the now retired Tusopala, no Mark.
Yeah.
I'd love to know. I think we need to actually measure, Mark, with a measuring tape around it.
It's late now. It's not as strong as it used to be.
Mark is with us, and of course, a man that made us look good when I got to the SABC many years ago with feeding us all the information, the very latest stats, and you can hear it whenever he speaks here. Nadim is also here. Nadim?
Yeah, Andile. It's good to be here.
Guys, let's see. Let's go straight into it. Yeah. Bafana played this week, of course, in the qualifiers. We started the qualifiers so well with the victory. We went away to Rwanda, and we didn't do so well. Let's first hear from Hugo Bruce. He spoke, of course, immediately after the game. This is Hugo Bruce now speaking about the tactics used on the day.
We don't have those players to play that football. That's all. I will ask to Rwanda to play like South Africa. I don't think they can do it either. So the coach chooses what the best for his team. And your coach chose, I think, a good tactic today because he won. And we didn't have an answer on that for the first 20-25 minutes. After that, it was we that dominated the game.
So there he says he knew that he should have changed the tactics. But, and played maybe crosses and a different type of game. But he says, I don't have those players. If you ask Rwanda to play the one-touch, into spaces football, would they be able to do that? We just didn't have the players. But he also bemoans and complains about the state of the pitch.
It's unbelievable that a qualifier for World Cup, that it's played on such a pitch. It's impossible. But okay, it is what it is. I think that CAF and FIFA has to be stricter in the rules. Where you're going to play. You're talking about qualifiers for the most biggest tournament of professional football, the World Cup. And then you have to play on such a pitch. Secondly, I think it's not normal when you arrive in the country that you still have to travel 3 hours with bus before you are on your final destination. Sorry.
So there you have it. Of course, remember, it's not just the fact that the pitch was waterlogged. It was synthetic and it was waterlogged. Mark? Okay, Mark is still sitting himself up there. Let me go to Mkonza here. Mkonza, your thoughts on Bafana's performance and what Hugo said?
Andile, I watched the game 3 times. And yes, the field was unplayable. But I also believe that application from Amachita was not going to give us results. And I'll tell you why. I remember Upeni when we played in Uganda. Half time, the same way Bafana played against Rwanda. Halftime, Penny came into the dressing room, asked Prashakes don't come into the dressing room. Was too Andile. Why did you honor call up if you were not gonna get here and get muddy? Because we know continental football is like this. So I really believe that that sometimes they need to take a blame. Yes, a combination of tactics from Bruce, because a certain way of play when you're playing away, approach has to change. It can't be nice because Lama Pichu Etola, I'm Nandi, but when you go to continental football, it changes everything because I feel sometimes you only watch a look by I feel. And if we need the foot in a match, control but amachita na application fanele ibonakale Andile because Africa kunjalo kuyafiwa ucham and if uzoya nice lapha awubuyi and that is why singabuyanga because in Rwanda I don't think they have the quality ukuthi bashaye but bashayile 2-0 and it's not right for us because manje sizoqala sibale futhi ile nto yethu kumlicathulo sibale 1+1 1+2 zonke lento azifuneki lezo zinto fanele sishaye ispan sethu early ngikutshele namande ngathi it's important for us to qualify outright. Let's win the group. Sisvaye. Let's not go concave playoffs because hey, angeke sibuye lapho.
Nadim?
Yeah, for me, I agree.
Oh, hold on. Let me explain what you're saying there, perhaps, because there's two ways to qualify. You win your group, and you qualify outright.
Yeah.
You finish best second, and then you have to play in the first preliminary group to make it out of Africa, and then go compete with whoever it is that is the winner in the CONCACAF similar situation to then make it to the World Cup, which is a much more difficult process to go through. So that's what you're talking about. We need to rather qualify outright and win our group. Nadim?
Yeah, that's why I said Bafana is not going to qualify for the World Cup because of, one, the coach is right. We didn't have the players who will adapt in those conditions. And two, we can blame the coach all we want, but I feel preparations were not done enough. I mean, if you are talking about 3-hour drive before reaching the venue, I mean, Sundowns, we know them. They always send people before games. Orlando Pirates, they always do that. I don't know if Safa did the same thing where people went there to check the conditions. How do we travel to the pitch? Because the pitch, it's not like they changed the pitch in the last minute. They knew that pitch. Okay, the rain, it affected both teams. But if that pitch was an artificial pitch, Bafana maybe would have trained maybe at least or maybe a couple of times before playing the Indian artificial pitch. I honestly think that was starting to make excuses for a national team that, okay, the artificial pitch, the conditions were bad, but it was bad for both teams. It's not like all of them, the players are playing in their rain in their leagues, wherever they played. I agree with the coach. The players are not there. I don't think we have enough quality. This team, if you look at Nigeria, this
is a team that went 12 unbeaten up until then.
Exactly, against who? They've never played a proper team. They've never beaten.
They played Morocco.
Exactly, Morocco second string team. Even their best goalkeeper was sitting on the bench. Some of the players didn't honor the team. The players, proper players that were playing in the World Cup. So they didn't play their star-studded team. The number one team, the number one goalkeeper for Morocco, Bono, who saved penalties during the World Cup, who was the number one, was on the bench. That's how much they undermined us. To them, that was a training match. They've already qualified. Bafana have yet to win a proper match against a quality side away, even at home. I mean, we can say how we lost to Ghana, but look, Bafana, this team is not good enough. Hugo Bros has not done anything. I know he has
not done anything.
Yes, against quality oppositions, because Rwanda is not the quality opposition. We're still going to play Nigeria, the best team in this tournament, who were without two of their best players.
Well, they can't be the best team in this tournament. They've drawn 2 games.
Exactly. Yes.
As well as Zimbabwe.
Minus 2 of their best players, Oksime and Chukwueze. If they were there, it's another story. I know that Nigerians like complaining. They're already complaining.
Didn't we draw Ivory Coast? Didn't this Bafana draw Ivory Coast away?
Exactly, not win.
But that's a quality opposition.
Yeah, we were yet to win. I'm talking about winning. So I think we're praising Bafana too much for doing well in friendly matches. Because this is the same Bafana that drew with Eswatini at the FNP Stadium, 0-0. I heard that was showing us, even against Benin, yes, it was 2-1. But if Benin had more 10 minutes, maybe a 2-2 was going to come, just like it came against Liberia at Orlando Stadium. I don't feel confident. I'm not going to blame the coach because I know what he's done. Their players, we don't have quality players.
Mark? Jeez, I didn't expect that. I must be honest. I thought we were seeing progress in this Bafana team.
I've seen progress. If you look at from when Hugo Bruce took over the squad to where we are now, I think we're very fickle as supporters in this country. When the team's on a high, we're at a high, but like when they're low, we absolutely low. We don't go through the process with them. I think this team is still, I mean, if you go back many years ago, we heard about Operation 2022. We were supposed to qualify for the 2022 World Cup. Absolutely nothing was done in that regard, and we didn't make any progress in relation to building a squad to eventually qualify for the World Cup. I mean, if you look in the time Hugo Bruce took over and how close we came to actually getting to the World Cup in 2022. I mean, I feel we were robbed still against Ghana, but that's what happens on the continent, unfortunately. So there has definitely been progress. We've now qualified. Doesn't matter how we've qualified. We have qualified for the AFCON. We didn't get in through the back door. It wasn't getting in because we're hosting, whatever the case may be. We've qualified for the AFCON. Maybe there was minus Zimbabwe in our group. We had to, do it ugly against Liberia, but the fact remains is we did it. There's definitely been progress. Coming to this game that we lost against Rwanda, I absolutely agree with what the coach said. He says we don't have the type of players to play that route one football, and that's what a lot of people have said to me. The conditions weren't great. Why didn't we knock it the way that Rwanda was doing? If we knocked the ball forward, long balls to Percy Tau, Hlongwane, to Mayambela, who were the front three, what was going to happen? The ball was just going to come back anyway. So we didn't have that, that outlet, if I can say that, the way that Rwanda did. The coach says we dominated after the first 20 minutes. I do agree with him. What, for me, the big problem at the moment in Bafana, the big problem, I feel that we have an issue at centre-back. For me, we don't have a set centre-back pairing. We're chopping and changing our centre. You know, when you think of the spine of the team, your spine must be consistent. Your spine is what the team is built upon. And we don't have a centre-back pairing. For me, someone like Mutobo Mvala, he played the first game, didn't play the second game, but he's that no-nonsense character. He doesn't try to be pretty, he doesn't try to be fancy. He just, he's an ugly player, if I can say that. So he's the type of player possibly that we needed in those conditions. But the fact that we don't have a set centre-back pairing, and, for me, it was costly errors from our two centre-backs that cost us on the day. And that's what it boiled down to.
Yeah, Maramaku, don't say it doesn't matter how we qualify.
Does it?
Ganjan.
You've qualified.
Over there is Besenza Ganji because it's Nandab.
The reason I say
qualify, so what?
No, the reason I say it doesn't matter. When we haven't qualified for so long, when was the last time we qualified?
For
Do you
me,
understand? So
2019.
does it matter how we qualify?
Okay, I'm not. It's fine. We qualified. I hear that, but I have a problem with what Mark said when he said Bafana if there's progress, but then again he said there's a problem with centre back. Centre back, I think they're one of the two most important position in a match. With poor with bad centre back, it's difficult to win matches. You're always gonna concede, and it's a qualifier. One goal can take you down because you need to less qualify. If you are saying we have a problem, it's like saying someone is a good driver but he doesn't know how to control the gears. Centre backs are so important. You can't say the team there's progress and say all those things. Then
Let's look at the group. Let's look at the group holistically.
Centre backs.
Let's look at the group holistically. Group C is where we are. It's Rwanda who's first with 4 points. South Africa with 3 points after 2 matches for everyone. Nigeria with 2 points. Lesotho, Zimbabwe also with 2 points. And at the bottom, Benin with a single point. We're going to go to what Nigerians are feeling at the moment because we spoke to them this week. And then we'll discuss the group holistically. Is there still a chance? Because this Nigerian team was seen as a team that could possibly pitch South Africa. It's different now. There's 8 games to go.
Yeah.
It's 1824 in a heated studio here for Sports Amplified with Andile. The guys are here. It's Podcast Fridays. We're speaking about all things Bafana and qualification in this Group C. At the moment, as it stands, South Africa second with 3 points, trailing Rwanda, who have 4 points, and then 2 points each between the rest of the teams, and Benin at the bottom with a single point. We went to Nigeria as well. We spoke to the Nigerian Federation, Ademola Olajire, and we asked him about, are they panicky yet? Should they be panicky? 2 points out of 2 games, which at home as well against Lesotho. Then they go to Zimbabwe against Zimbabwe and they draw again. This is the mighty Nigeria. They drew, and not to say anything to belittle Lesotho or Zimbabwe, but in the world of football, there is no equation for those 3 teams. Have a listen to what the Nigerian Federation had to say.
Nobody's pressing any panic buttons. I can tell you that we have a bunch of players who have ambition, who also have aspiration to go to the World Cup. After the match in Zimbabwe, they got themselves into a room and spoke to themselves. In that team, we have so many of them who have not been to the World Cup, and they've spoken to themselves earlier that they want to be at the World Cup.
And then we spoke to journalists about Nigeria because we wanted to hear not from the Federation but what the people of Nigeria feel. This is what Omar Kaktukba had to say.
No, he knows it as well because he's already applied for the job of the Zamalek coach.
What?
Is that not disrespectful? Yes, he applied for the vacant job of the coach of Zamalek. For of course, reasons are not far-fetched. He's been owed backlog of salary. The working conditions are not too good. But again, he accepted a pay cut to remain the manager of Nigeria. He was earning 70,000 euros. He got to the point the NFL broke organization. That is documented. They don't have money. They told him they couldn't afford 70,000 anymore. He had to accept 50K.
So what Omar Kaktuba says there is that the Nigerian coach, the current coach, the man who at the moment is at the helm of Nigeria, Jose Peseiro, has already applied for another job while he's in this job.
Yeah.
He's not been getting his salary, which is something that the federation refused to answer when I asked them. They wouldn't say it. I said, is he getting his money? They said, no, it's none of anybody's business whether he's getting his money or not. 2 matches done, 8 to go. This is the team that's in our group, Mkwanza.
Andile, first things first, Umqeqeshi Ifubeka, he took a significant reduction when it comes to wages.
And so the Nigerian journalists are saying it shows that you're not a quality coach.
Yeah.
If you're willing to sit,
it speaks
to your worth is what they're saying. Yes.
Yeah. So for me, already is applied for Racing Spani. It tells you that we are born with future equal. That's number 2. Number 3, if you pay composition on the Nigerian side, I mean, you've got Abo Inacho who plays for Leicester. You've got Abo Boniface who plays for Bayern Leverkusen. Abo Iwobi who Fulham. You're expected to do well against Abo Lesotho, Zimbabwe and to get results. But if you can't get results against, they call them minnows. I can tell you right now, it's going to cause a division, a country. And we know Nigerians in terms of how feel about themselves. They know the only people that they take for seriously group ET. They say the only rivalry that we have in this group, it's South Africa, but Lesotho, Zimbabwe. It's giving them nightmares.
Mark?
Yeah, I think obviously he's compromised himself purely by, if the reports are true that he's already enlisted for himself for another job.
Yeah.
He's already compromised himself. And yes, I think when you do take a 20,000 euro, is it euro,
Dollars, yeah.
whatever it is, 20,000
Pay cut. That's almost 400,000.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And so, yes, I think you have shown yourself. And unfortunately, the start that they've had already, this is the worst possible start, I think, from Nigeria. Not specifically because of the result, but once again, it's money that's overshadowing everything. And it's now a coaching issue. It's backroom issues.
Yeah.
Backroom things that shouldn't affect you on the field, but clearly it will. And so, yeah, I think this group, everyone else, apart from Nigeria and South Africa, are probably happy with how the first 2 rounds of matches for this qualifiers.
Because you'd have expected 6 points.
In Group C. For Nigeria should be on 6, South Africa should be on 6. And that's why I say Rwanda, Benin, Lesotho, all of them are pretty much happy going in to the new year. The next games are only in June, I think it is, of next year.
Yeah, it is June of next year.
I think everyone else is very much happy with how this group has started. And so Nigeria and South Africa, the outright favorites for this group, have given themselves a lot of work to do.
Nadim, close it off.
Yeah, I don't see a problem why people. That's even the coach after the match. He asked, what is the problem? Because ball position, Nigeria played better against Lesotho, as also against Zimbabwe. Look, Nigeria were without Victor Osimhen, the best player in Africa and one of the best strikers in the world, and also Chukwueze, one of the top players. 2 of their best players were not in that because of injuries. I mean, for me, Nigeria is one of the favorites to win the AFCON next year. I don't see the problem even at a symbol. There's 8 games to go. There's more points to fight for. I mean, like 24 points, 24 points to go for. I actually don't see a problem. Usually, even France at one point in time, before going, Italy were eliminated by North Macedonia. At one point in time, France nearly didn't qualify after drawing North Macedonia for 2018 World Cup or one of those things. It can happen in football. It's football. Those matches are bound to happen.
So you don't see
not
a problem?
No, it's not a crisis. They didn't
I look at when
they didn't lose.
They didn't have their best players. Did we have all our best players?
No. I'm talking about players who make game changers. South Africa didn't have game changers. Who was missing?
But hold on.
There's no game
changer.
Lyle Foster is playing for a
Is
team
it not
that
a game changer?
It's not. For
I
Bafana,
listen to this and I think of the big teams when they've played them. When they've played Algeria, they've lost. When they've played Ghana, they've lost. When they played Portugal in a friendly, they've lost. When they played Guinea-Bissau, they lost. When you look at the last 8 matches and the matches they've won, they played Sierra Leone, they won against Sao Tome, they drew against Saudi Arabia, they won against Mozambique. That's the Nigerian team you think can win the AFCON.
Exactly, Saudi Arabia, the same team that beat Argentina in the World Cup, the team that won the World Cup. The things that fans like creating problems, there's no problem. They didn't lose. If they lost a single game, they are with
so Nigeria
one player.
One player is okay.
It's fine. One player like Man City were without who's that guy from? They lost all the matches without one player can make huge winner.
Nadim,
yeah,
you use
one player.
Metrics for different
No, I am not. I am not.
Different metrics for different.
I am not. And
Bafana is not good enough,
okay,
but
guys.
Nigeria's results are good enough.
We're
ahead of Nigeria.
I didn't say they're good enough. I'm saying.
All right, we're gonna pause it there. It gets like that sometimes. It's 18:31. Nadim says there's no crisis, but let's bring it back home now. Let's go to Swallows Football Club. I must be very honest. If you look at Swallows the last 2-3 seasons, Mark, your former team, I didn't expect that I would look down when I'm checking, because I mean we're back to local football now. We're back to our exciting PSL. I didn't think I'd see a Swallows after 10 games who's sitting in 5th position, only having lost 2 games with 18 points. There must be something that Steve Komphela is doing right there. Let's have a listen to what Daniel Ekpe said.
If you look around the structures that every team play or most teams play in the world right now, which this whole idea came up from Pep Guardiola, I think it's basically we want to play from the back, and we work on it day after day, session after session to make sure that we perfect it. Well, it's expected that one of those hiccups is going to happen.
You know, especially when he mentions Pep Guardiola, I start thinking Rulani, I start thinking Steve has come with the philosophy he was with at Sundowns and he's brought it to Swallows, and that's the sort of football they're playing. All the players are raving about him. That piece there was done by Mazolamale for SABC Sports. You can go read the entire thing. Nadim, what do you make of what Steve Komphela has been able to do at Swallows?
I've really been impressed with Steve Komphela, especially defensive. If you look that they've only conceded 6 goals, even though they are not scoring enough goals. They've only scored 11 goals from 10 matches. But I understand their goals are only coming from Mabasa. He's the only one who have scored more than 2 goals. He scored 6 goals in the league. All of them, Mwango and them, they've scored 1 each. So what Steve has done with the resources that he has, with the players that he has, actually more impressed by him, because he didn't wait to, at the weight goal, Swallows at one point in time, they were in the top 3. So you'll feel that he didn't even wait to make the players gel. There were a lot of signings that came in. You see what he's doing is your Steve Komphela from Free State Stars, who will build a team from nothing and also make it a competitive team, and ended up being in the top 8. So far so good for them. But Mwango needs to start scoring. A player like him can't score 1 goal. At one point in time was a league goal scorer. Now after 10 games, he scored only a single goal in the league. They can't rely on Mabasa. Remember, Mabasa was sent away at Sekhukhune by Orlando Pirates, and then he was not playing because Brendan Peterson preferred Ohuzu. So if you see how he was done at Swallows, you give credit to Steve Komphela for bringing confidence back to Mabasa, because Mabasa, the way he was playing, you can just give credit to Steve Komphela. Is the one. I think his confidence was very low, because from a national team playing well at Celtics and Orlando Pirates, now he was no longer playing at Sekhukhune. Then he goes to Swallows. Now he's the top goal scorer of the league. I'm impressed with Steve Komphela and how he has actually improved the players that are there. That's what is no space. He's a father figure. He's a guy who improves everyone. Even when you are working with Steve Komphela, he's always going to improve everyone who's around him.
He scored 6, the same as Mountas Mayo, of course. Yeah. The leading goal scorers was 6. Steve Komphela, Swallows?
For me, I've got a personal story. I think coach the national team when he was assistant to Baxter, and he was embracing a possession, combination play, interlink. He used to tell us, Stuart, good day, so ability to play away to the type of players that we have are like this. And for me, I've seen Steve Komphela, for me, one of the coaches that just needs a result, a trophy. Because good Chiefs, if you go back when he was coaching Chiefs was playing a very good football after Baxter, but he didn't get results. And that is why I want to coach. But if you look at these Swallows, imagine if the Swallows can get a trophy or can do so well, then the recognize it. But Steve Komphela has been doing so well. Because
so hold on. So Steve did a great job at Chiefs?
Yeah. He didn't get results.
All 3 seasons?
He didn't get results, but the Chiefs was playing.
What's a great job of a coach if it's not getting great results?
No, Tina Sipega from football perspective, when the team plays the right
No,
way.
no, Mkonza. I mean, I think you suffer from optical illusion. He spent 3 seasons at Kaizer Chiefs, never won a single trophy.
Yes.
He took a team that just won the league and a cup. He
Ganjani,
didn't do
by
well
winning-
at
by winning
Kaizer. It
Ganjani
doesn't
league.
matter. He didn't do well at Chiefs.
That's the problem. Then it
It's
doesn't
about
matter.
the
It's the
results.
problem.
It matters. Kaizer Chiefs is about
So,
it's
Mkonza,
a
you'd
result-driven
rather-
team.
Yeah.
He didn't do well at Chiefs.
So you'd rather they play great football and win nothing
No.
than win playing ugly football.
Thing ilungise. That is why I said, for me now, Steve Komphela Chiefs was playing the right way. They needed the result and the trophy. That's what I said.
3 seasons.
You said that
Yes.
he did well at Chiefs.
Yes, with the team idlala kahle. Chiefs yaqinile ukudlala kahle. Chiefs ayikazi
No,
ukudlala
they-
kahle.
no, he didn't
It's
do
been
well.
9
He
years.
didn't do well at
Now you
Chiefs.
Baxter maka win league kanjani. The Chiefs are transition.
Yeah, but the Kaizer Chiefs.
So I'm trying to say to you,
football is a result-driven.
No.
It's a
I
result-driven.
understand. But when you create a long term, we are a big club. You are not a team. We're a club, we're a team. Our Chiefs are a big club. Big clubs needs to have a long term plan to say, okay, manje scala phansi sibuilda kanje, and must build so it's gonna be a long term.
Are you learning to be a coach?
Yes.
So you'll not winning 3 years in a big team like Chiefs is doing well.
That is why faneke ube ku environment that is a guy chance ukuthi wena ukhona ukushaya ispan.
Right, let's
No,
go to
but
Mark,
Chiefs,
'cause-
Chiefs offered him that environment where the team was just won the league under Stuart Baxter. Then they gave him a chance. You should not winning. I'm not sure.
Let's go to Mark. This is your former team, Mark.
Yeah, I'm
This is
proud.
the team where you are the legend. This is.
I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure about that because when I show up at the stadium, it's another story. So I'm not sure. But no, I can tell you, I think of all the business that Swallows have done, I think getting Coach Steve Komphela was the best business they've done in probably the last 10 years, if I can say that. When you look at what he's done, he's raised, I would say, even the professionalism of the entire club. And that's so important. He came in and he put his foot down. He expected certain things, and everybody was on their toes. Everybody was needed to really stand up and prove their worth, show why they're there, and what they contribute to the club. And so it's showing on the field. I would say I love what Daniel Ekpe is saying in terms of the way Coach Steve wants to play. It doesn't always work. There are going to be hiccups along the way, and we've seen that. I think the worst performance they've had is probably the Nedbank Cup performance against Richards Bay. But other than that, they've been so impressive. And when it comes to goal scoring, in modern football, you can't rely on 1 or 2 people. And yes, I agree with Nadim. If 1 or 2 of the other strikers really pick up form and they, go alongside Mabasa and start scoring goals, then this team can really, really do well this season. We saw even the likes, I think their last, the game against TS Galaxy, where Keenan Phillips ran all the way from the back, scored an absolute screamer. So this team, everyone is contributing. Everyone is willing to fight for the next person. And that's the most difficult dynamic for any coach. When you've united the squad, 90% of your job is done. When the players on the field are willing to die for one another, 90% of your job is done. And he certainly has come and brought this club together, and they're playing as a unit. And obviously the management has supported him, and that's the most important thing. Everything is asked for. I think management has really worked hard to give him whatever he wanted, and this is the results now.
Let's move on. Yet stay with local football. Mkonza, the other big thing that happened, of course, was Kukune finally appointed a coach. Hlohonolo Seema is the man for the job.
And I like what you said on Monday when you said there's a difference between a team and a club. Our teams way to most of them, they don't have policies. I'm not undermining Seema. Good for him, he got a job. But our teams way to the reason there's a recycling of coaches, it is because our teams way to they don't have policies. They just identify coaches. It's fine. Next time, 5 games, you are out. Kungena new coach. So if our teams can start thinking in thinking ukuthi we are institutions. We need to build our clubs, not teams. I can tell right now a lot of things because our teams don't have technical directors, and that is why uzobona ama recycling of coaches azoba so. But I'm disappointed with Polokwane City in a sense that I think Seema was doing a very good job. I thought Seema he laid a very good foundation, but it speaks to a lot of things, dynamics behind the scenes that Tinesanga was. But Abu Polokwane City, they need to sort out our interferences because they had a good foundation with Seema.
Mark, Seema?
Yeah, I think obviously he's shown himself in the league. He's coached at various clubs. He hasn't necessarily lit the league up at the top of the table or anything like that. But he's a very, very consummate coach. And I'm the biggest disappointment of all this, and I have to just echo maybe what Mkonza is saying. I was so excited for Polokwane City. seeing how Polokwane City has been playing. I think they've been really, really good. We saw them against SuperSports, giving them 4-1 in the cup. When they drew against Pirates, coming from a goal down. Those performances were so good, and you wanted to see this team grow and build on that. And then for the coach to leave when it seemed like he was doing something special at Polokwane City.
They're sitting in 6th, Polokwane City.
That for me is literally the biggest disappointment of all this, because where's the longevity in our country, in our football? When do you see a coach over 2-3? And again, everybody has to do what's best for themselves. I said it last week, there's no loyalty in football. So ultimately, whether you're a player or a coach, you have to look and do what's best for yourself. And clearly he felt that this was the right move for him. I'm just disappointed. And should Polokwane City have tried harder to hold on to him? What was the issues there that caused him to leave? I don't know. That's behind closed doors, but that's the biggest disappointment for me.
Well, then he goes to a team that's sitting 12th at the moment with 14 points. That's 4 points from the relegation zone. Yes, there's only 12 games being played, but when you're a team that is not one of the so-called big teams, you don't have all the big name players. It's a bit of a struggle to get out of that. But looking at the PSL now, it's 2-3 wins away. Does he make a difference in that team?
I don't think he will do that, because look how they released Victor Lutsalo and Mabasa. I don't know why Mabasa was always playing 30 seconds at Sekhukhune. I don't think they have enough strikers or players, offensive players, to assist him. That's the problem. If you look at how they've been playing this season, sure, they've won 4 games just like Polokwane City, but they've lost a lot of matches already. And they are conceding. If you look at Sekhukhune, conceded like how many goals? 10 goals. So I don't think so. Seema is not a magician. He's not like a great coach. He's just an okay PSL coach. He's not like a guy who is... I've seen him from Bloemfontein Celtics, went to Chippa United, and now at Polokwane City. But their strikers are a problem.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Opta Jabu comes in, then we wrap it up with you and your calls. Hey, we've been very short-legged the past couple of weeks when I've been here, but apparently he comes when I'm not here, so I think I'm the problem. Opta Jabu now joins us. Lindelo, of course, Moyo, representing the guys at Opta Jabu. Lindelo, has been a while. Welcome. Hey.
Andile, good evening. It has been a while. It's good to have you back in the country again.
Hey, listen, man, we've been speaking about Steve Komphela. He's taking on Chiefs this coming weekend.
Yes. So he is taking on Chiefs, but also most importantly, he's taking on Kevin Johnson as well. His record against both entities or institutions is actually quite mixed. He's lost 12 games against Kaizer Chiefs as a coach. Only against Sundowns, 15 times has he lost more matches than any other team.
So Steve Komphela, as a head coach, has lost to Kaizer Chiefs 12 times. The only other team that's beat him more is Sundowns.
Only Sundowns.
Okay.
Ironically, the teams that he's actually coached at some point. And then against Kevin Johnson as well, he's lost 7 times. In fact, let me focus this on Kevin Johnson himself. Johnson has won 7 games against Steve Komphela in all competitions, more than he has against any other PSL coach.
What?
Since he started coaching.
Hold on. Kevin Johnson has beat Steve Komphela more than any other coach in the DSTV Premiership. How many games have they played?
So they played 16 games altogether. He's beaten him 7 times. He's lost 4 times, and the other 5 matches ended in a draw.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. This is going to be a good one. I'm excited. I'm very excited. This is going to be a good one. Okay, cool. Let's move on from that perhaps and go to Bucks. They've been doing well. It's a momentum thing for them, isn't it?
It is a momentum team. Back-to-back wins, firstly against Sekhukhune, and then the big win against Chiefs in the derby. But then they are yet to win 3 in a row in the league this season. So it's something they'll be aiming to do this coming weekend. And they haven't pulled a streak like this since March, April, when they won 6 in a row in the league.
Then there's Cape Town City. They are a point away from second position where SuperSports sit, 2 points away from Sundowns in first position. This weekend, this could be a big thing. We could see a change of guard, a change of ownership in the DSTV Premiership.
Absolutely, and something that we've been longing for, Andile. Cape Town City can go top of the league because Sundowns have been on top of the league since August. They've been on top for all but 4 days of the season. They've been at the very top. And so Cape Town City can do that. Speaking of momentum...
Hold on. When last did Sundowns play a PSL game?
So it's actually been almost 2 months now. It's going to be 62 days.
So Sundowns has not played a DSTV Premiership game in 62 days. And they're still number 1.
Still number 1.
Incredible.
Yeah, blind.
Listen, Opta Jabu, we absolutely love you. How do people get in contact? How do people reach out?
Opta Jabu on all social media platforms, and also Ladum Analytics working together on all social media platforms as well.
Guys, please do follow. Your following keeps him with us here. This is the way we pay him, from you guys following him. So make sure that you follow Opta Jabu with Linda Lamoya. Linda, we appreciate you.
Yes, Andile. Good luck.
As you know, on a Friday, we take your calls. It's at 18:50, so it's 086-000-2160. Guys, it's that time. A minute each. Mkwanza Mankalangawa, your minute starts now. Your weekend fixture, what did you choose?
I choose the Swallows and the Chiefs. It Chiefs before beating Cape Town Spurs. They were on 3 games back-to-back losing. They need to start winning. Kevin Johnson, good out trust against my fans. But Komphela has been doing so well, position 5. I think Komphela has been doing so well with that. Swallows have already said mouthful about what Komphela has been doing. Again, Swallows have collected 4 points in the last 2 matches. So, guys, there's a consistency, and I believe this is going to be a crack of a match because Kevin Johnson, but I'm Shafunu Komphela.
All right, that's your minute gone. I'm going to move on now to Mark. Mark, what game are you looking at this weekend? So you're saying, Kevin, who's winning that one? Chiefs?
Yeah.
Chiefs are going to beat.
Chiefs are winning now.
So he's going to turn the tables around. He's gonna, okay. Mark, what game are you looking at?
Well, obviously, that's the game that's most talked about. But I think an interesting one would be Cape Town Spurs against Royal AM. That's number 16 versus number 14.
It's a big game.
So, if Cape Town Spurs are going to turn their season around, if the new coach is going to make a difference and announce himself, this is the game to do it. And so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in that one. 3 points versus 11 points. That's the difference between 14 and 3. I don't think we've had a big gap like that in a long time between the bottom, I would say the bottom 3. So Cape Town Spurs have a lot of ground to make up, and they need to start this weekend.
Oh, it's going to be an interesting one, that. I look forward to it.
Yeah, I will go with Kaizer Chiefs again against Swallows. I honestly feel Swallows will win this match because if you look how Chiefs are if you see how Chiefs are playing, I mean, I don't even know who's going to play. I don't know if it's going to be Kune or Peterson in the right back. I don't know if it's going to be Kwiniga or Frosa, centre back, Msimang or Ngobo, left back, Dove or Shanti. I mean, this team is so inconsistent from selection. I think Swallows, Steve Komphela might actually win this match at home against Kaizer Chiefs. It's so inconsistent. I thought Kevin Johnson will bring some changes. Someone asked me, who's selecting the Kaizer Chiefs lineup? I said, I don't know. Because if you look at the selection, it has not changed. It's still inconsistent even under him.
3 games. It's only saying 3 games.
What I say?
Their time is up. Switch them off, Malcolm. Their time is up. Premier League this weekend. Nottingham Forest taking Brighton. Hove Albion is live on the SABC. You've got University of Pretoria that take on First Touch also on Saturday in the Hollywood Bet. That's a big one there. Sundowns ladies could walk away with the league in the next 2 games, I think it is. So do watch them there. They could be getting the double there. You've also got another game. That's University of Pretoria versus First Touch. And then Sundowns versus, it's a double header on Saturday is what you can get on the SABC. Then on Sunday, you can catch many matches there as well. On Sunday, we're giving you, it's a CAF game actually. It's Alsby Bekane taking on Skukuna United. Sundowns take on Nohadibo. And you've also got, those are the 3 games. So there, plenty of games. There's Champions League games and also some Hollywood Bet games there. It's 18:50. We now take it over to you. Give us a call and let's have the conversation, and of course your WhatsApps as well.
Hi, Andile and the team. I like the way you guys are clarifying everything about our soccer in South Africa and the 2 gentlemen, of which is Nadim and Mark. The honest truth is, in South Africa, we need to go outside there and look for best defenders. I believe we still have defenders in the locations. If we can get proper scouts who can go to locations and look for only that special talent. Coming back to the Bafana point, the midfield and everything, I'm happy about everything with the Bafana team except the defense. Zain Lamini here in Cape Town.
Thank you, Zain. Appreciate it.
Gents, good evening, gents. Let the spot on. Great football sometimes is needed in football. It doesn't really have to be go park the bus, score 1 goal and then win a trophy. It's boring. I can't go watch somebody who parks the bus and just scores 1 goal and park. So where's the entertainment part of football? Where's the identity of the team? Arsenal hasn't been winning a lot, but our identity has always remained the same. The type of players that we
is used to losing.
So the identity of the team is necessary. Barcelona still has their identity. Sundowns has an identity. So Chiefs had an identity under Steve, minus the trophies. That's where Nkonza is going.
Guys, you can keep your nice football. Yeah, I want to win. Yes, I enjoy nice football too, but I want to win. Godfrey is out in Pretoria. Godfrey.
Andile, how are you?
I'm good, Godfather. Talk to me.
Man, good evening to the guys there at the studio. Andile, I'm a regular listener of your show. You know that.
No, I appreciate it, man.
Last week I was listening to you. You praised Hugo Bros, but let me start here, Andile. I think we need to start at the motherboard, which is SAFA. SAFA, Andile, they must take a leaf out of Sundown's book, if they might not take the whole book. Because if you're playing in Africa, Andile, if you want success, you must invest in that success. And if we don't raise this, we're not going anywhere as a nation. Sundown sent people a week before to go and check, to acclimatize themselves. They report everything, what's happening in that country. So when the players get there, they already have everything, what's happening there. They can easily adapt. But with us, you can't just request and ask the match officials when the game is about to start and say, let's wait for 2 hours. No, it's not supposed to be like that because you're not playing alone. It's 11 against 11. They're still playing in that field that is full of water. So what I can say here, SAFA must actually rebuild themselves. And then make sure that they invest in Bafana. If they want to win, if they want to succeed, I mean the coach and the players, they won't succeed alone. They need the support structure, which is SAFA, of which at this present moment, SAFA, they're doing nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Man.
Thank you so much, Godfather. I appreciate it. Let's go to Chulani. Chulani is in Greenwich. Chulani.
Hey, Ma'a.
Hey, man, it's been a while. Talk to me.
Hey, how are you, my guy?
Hey, I'm always good, man.
How's the gents there? Man, Ma'a. Just a few things to highlight here, my guy. Firstly, I agree with Nadim with Nigeria. That team, I think they're favorite to win AFCON. They're good team, they're solid team.
I don't know what you guys are seeing, to be honest.
I think they're the best now in Africa.
That's why you brought us here.
Yeah.
My second, hey, my guy. Getting my costumes to your show. Getting my costumes to your show.
What happened?
Yo, it has improved, that show, my guy. This Friday broadcast, my guy. Hey, I don't know whose decision it is, but in
Oh, listen, we appreciate it.
Of this guy, my guy. Hey, this guy is very good. And
it was his decision, just so you know.
Thank you, Grootma.
Getting Mark Haskins there. He is improving every day. I'm not saying he was not.
No. I thought Propulana was improving me. I miss Propulana.
All the way in Greenwich to the Eastern Cape.
No, thank you. I agree with that.
Thank you so much, man. Let's go to Houghton. Jonathan is there. Jonathan.
Hello.
Hey, talk to me, Jonathan.
Andile, how are you with the guys there? Kwanza, Nadim, Mark Haskins.
Autiami.
Yeah,
how you doing, sir?
Okay. No, I'm doing well, my guys.
He's calling from Houghton.
Nice.
Yeah,
you're doing a nice show. Always listening to your show.
No, we appreciate it, my brother. Talk to me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, with the national team, they are doing well, but they need to try and learn one or two things from Sundowns. Sundowns, whenever they attend to a match out of South Africa, they always get prepared a week before the game. So I think we'll do it with our national team. They must try and do that.
Okay.
Get one or two ideas from the Sundowns way doing of things.
So a national team must learn from a club.
Yeah, that's what I think. Because the national team seems to be failing.
Jonathan,
no, but I mean,
Jonathan makes a good point. Thank you so much, Jonathan.
The public clearly know, because Bafana are stuck with issues of venues not being booked for training, and that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable.
Exactly. So it's such a story happening. You can't see every certain issue happening in Sundowns. Then secondly, I would like to wish Sundowns a good game as they play on Sunday.
Oh, you're a Sundown supporter?
Yeah, I'm a Sundown supporter.
Are you going to the stadium?
I will be there. I'll be there live and direct.
Did you buy the ticket?
Yes, I bought the ticket.
How much was it?
$20.
Imagine. Thank you so much, Jonathan. I appreciate it. The last one here is Dixon Gwamhlanga. Dixon.
Andile, how are you?
I'm good, man. Talk to me.
Sure. Between Sianda Kulu and CBC, those two defenders, and you compare them with Lebusa and Rivaldo Kose, Grant Kekana, who's best then?
Well, Grant Kekana was injured. We know that, right?
Yeah.
But not, even if sometimes when Rivaldo Costa is not injured, and Rivaldo Costa is a utility player, you can play him central midfielder. He's giving you 2-in-1.
But I mean, how long has Rivaldo been back for the coach to have seen him enough? Has he been in tip-top
Yes,
position?
he's been playing the whole season.
So you think he's done
Yes,
enough
yes,
to
definitely.
earn his place
More
back?
than enough.
Ay, Nadim.
Andile,
No, it's fine.
you know,
Rivaldo Coutinho has done enough.
Hold on. Dixon, Rivaldo Coutinho has played how many games this season?
You know, Andile, if you are good, you are good. If you are national team material, you are national team material. Whether you come back from injury, you must go from injury straight to the national team. We must have that culture in South Africa.
So according to you, Rivaldo should have just gone straight to Bafana.
Yeah. Yes.
But Hugo's never seen him.
That's why, and this Mr. Hugo Bruce sometimes he doesn't even attend most of Sundowns games.
That is untrue. I have bumped into him at those very Sundowns games more than once. I've bumped into him in games in Durban, Cape Town, Eastern. I've bumped into him at games that you can't believe. So that is untrue. This man watches more football than most in this country. But that's our time. It's 7 o'clock, top of the hour. We got to get out of here very quickly, Nadim. What do you think?
Rivaldo Coutinho has played 19 games this season.
Right. There's
19, so not 4, as you said.
Okay, I got to get out of here. Thanks so much for being a part of the show. The guys and I are out of here. Remember, you can catch the show on YouTube. We are on TikTok, on Instagram, as well as clips of it, of course, on Twitter. The three guys here, Bonang, Lemapar, Pela Pela, and Tom.